All right, welcome, welcome. It's another week of our weekly rundown for our group CrossFit classes. So, we are in the final week of September. Next week, when I put out this video, also attached with that will be our programming snapshot for the month of October. This is one thing that you've seen recently that we want to give you a kind of input on what we're working on coming up. And so in October, let's circle back. In September, we focused on a couple of movements like the bench press, the deadlift, the squats, the overhead squat, and the front squat. And the reason we've done some of that stuff is that we wanted to touch on some of these things prior to going into a couple of strength focuses over the rest of the year. So we're going to spend a little time in October focusing on building some strength in a few movements. And so we'll release what that's going to be next week. But we did talk about the bench press already. There's going to be some power clean work in there. So, you did a lot of Olympic lifting, not quite the same setup as what we did over the summertime. This is going to be a little bit of a different focus. And then you have an opportunity to work on either developing some strength in the overhead squat or even the back squat. And so one of the things around continuing to develop your overall fitness is that number one, you've seen it in some of the workouts we've done in September is what we call this GPP. We call that general physical preparedness. And so that's where you see some of the constantly varied type movements and workouts that come in where we do different style of movements. We use different implements, whether it's a barbell, a sandbag, a slam ball, a dumbbell, whatever it may be, kettlebells. That general physical preparedness, what that means is that you can just do a lot of things decent, right? Kind of being a jack of all trades, if you will, or a Jackie of all trades. That being said, though that's great for building general fitness, but when we want to focus on developing overall body strength, we need to touch on movements a little bit more often. And so that's where you see these focuses come in. So that's what you're going to see coming in October. I'm going to release all of that stuff next week in my next update, right before we start the October week. I cannot believe we're already through the month of September, but here's what we're have happening for this next week. So on Monday, you're going to have an opportunity to work on, like we were talking about, front squats and overhead squats. We did this a couple weeks ago where we kind of gave you an option. You can either choose to work on front squats or choose to work on the overhead squat. The overhead squat is a more advanced squat. We kind of call it the gold standard of squatting because it demands the most stability out of the body, demands the most range of motion for the squat. So you have an option to work on that, but I highly encourage you to make sure you're working with your coaches on proper positioning and proper technique. We really have to be able to lock in that shoulder and have full range of motion of the arms and the shoulder and the mid back, or we're going to wind up getting hurt. And so it's okay to practice some of that movement and develop that stability maybe with a PVC pipe, but we don't want to load a barbell on our shoulder that is in an unstable position or an at-risk position. And so we've encouraged those of you that if you want to work on the mobility pieces, we want you to work on those things. Get with Dr. Bill on even, going through a movement screening or anything else like that to work on some of those pieces if the overhead squat is something you have an interest to. But if you don't have the positioning for it, we don't want you loading that not only in a strength position or in a strength setting, but also in a conditioning setting. So just choose to do the front squat. Some of you just know how to do the overhead squat, but maybe you just prefer keeping the bar below the shoulder or at the shoulder, not overhead. Do that all day long. Okay. So we're going to work on a little bit of front squat, overhead squat kind of skill time, build time. So you're spending that time. You're going to spend about 10 minutes just building up to your workout weight. You may even go a little bit heavier than your workout weight for the day, but then we want to make sure that within that 10 minutes, you've had touched on your workout weight, you know what weight you're going to do for the workout. And by the end of that 10 minutes, you have that weight on the bar ready to go for the workout because we got to have a little bit of a tight window on Monday with all the work we're getting in. Then we're going to do a 16-minute AMRAP. That 16-minute AMRAP, minute 1, minute 2. You did this in the EMOM stuff. 16-minute EMOM. And you did this in the EMOM stuff this last week, actually, with the 12-minute EMOM on our quality day. But minute 1 and 2 of the EMOM, you're going to have a 250-meter or 200-meter row and then 15 toes to bar. And then minute 3 is going to be max either front squats or overhead squats, whichever you choose, and that you can do safely. And then minute 4 is going to be a rest minute. So you're going to have 4 rounds, but minute 4 is going to have that extra minute of rest in there. So that's kind of an RPE of an 8 or a 9 that day. And the reason for that is because anytime we're doing a max rep something, like if I'm working, I don't care. Like, and we could do weights, top weights on that workout's gonna be about 115, 75. So meaning like top weight for guys, 115, top weight for the gals, 75. I should be able to do whatever weight I'm doing unbroken, but it should be a grind for unbroken. So this is a day where we're pushing the intensity because we want to make sure that we're really pushing the max reps there. Now, if you're someone who's a little bit more, if you're newer to these movements, the overhead squat or the front squat, one, you may just be opting to do the front squat, but regardless, you can slow down your tempo. Somebody that's a little bit more, a little bit speedier, they can move a little bit faster in that minute. We want to make sure we're getting quality work in there, but because it's a max rep style day, and even in those first 2 minutes, getting the 250-meter row and getting through the 15 toes to bar or toes to something or knee raises, whatever it is, it's a little bit more of a high output day. Okay. But we're still working on trying to stay consistent. It's an effort day. It's not a sprint day. It's an effort day, but it's just a high volume day. So next piece there on Tuesday. On Tuesday, we're going to be working through a little bit of jump rope skill time like we did this last week. We're going to have a little EMOM time to build in the workout. So I really like when we can have a little bit like skill time to build up, and then in the back end that we're building up for the actual workout that we have coming, right? So in that EMOM time, we're going to do a little jump rope practice. Now, you're going to have some caveats in the jump rope skill that you're going to get to work on in the workout. So you have an option for doing some crossover singles, some double unders. Some of you advanced athletes that have really been smoking double unders, if you've never tried single or triple unders, and some of you might just be like, Josh, you're an idiot. Don't ever say that to me again. But you can actually work on triple unders in this skill time, reverse single unders. So you're literally doing backwards single unders, which some people like, I remember when I was younger, somebody like started jumping rope, like I just jump rope backwards. And that was like odd to me. But that was just a normal thing they did. And jumping rope forward was weird to them. But if you always jump rope forward and never try to jump rope backwards, try that out on Tuesday. But we're going to have a skill time. In that skill time, again, you're going to be working on building up to your workout weight. In the workout though, like, so EMOM is going to be some 40 seconds of jump rope practice. Then minute 2 is going to be 2 deadlifts, 3 hang power cleans, and 4 alternating front rack lunges. You'll understand that little combo when we get to the workout. But basically in the EMOM, we're doing a 9-minute EMOM. By round 3, you should just be at your workout weight. Okay. And then minute 3 is going to get some glute activation, going to do some slow glute bridge ups. The workout for the day then is going to do 5 rounds for time. Okay. RPE is going to be around an 8 on this one that day. Okay. So a little bit, getting a little bit hairier there. 5 rounds for time, 8 deadlifts. This is really lightweight, by the way. Top weights are going to be no more than about 95 pounds for the guys, 65 pounds for the gals. We did a top weight deadlift workout a couple of weeks ago, or last week even, that was like 205 was the top weight for the guys. So this is 100 pounds lighter than that. So this is a lightweight day. Okay. So we're focusing on speed and intensity. 8 deadlifts, 10 hang power cleans, and then 12 alternating front rack lunges. So what happens there is you do the 8 deads, and then you hang on to the top of the eighth deadlift. You stay there. Then you do your hang power cleans. When you finish the 10th hang power clean, you keep the bar up front and racked again. And now you do your 12 alternating front rack lunges. So it kind of flows together. Then the piece with the single or with the jump rope is going to be, it's just going to say jump rope on the workout. So it's not going to have a rep scheme on it. And below that, you're going to have listed what you can choose on the jump rope because the rep scheme changes. So I can either do 60 single unders, I can do 30 double unders, or I can do 24 crossover singles. Okay, so you have an option to substitute what jump rope skill you want to work on in the workout. Choose a jump rope skill that you can do because, again, a little bit more of a sprint day. We're working a little bit faster here. So we don't want to choose a jump rope skill that we can't do a lot of, or we're going to mess up 10 times because it's going to slow us down for intensity. So again, this is a sprint day. So we talked about this earlier this week when I was coaching. Sprint days mean like I'm putting the gas pedal down. The weight is light to do so. The movements flow together well. And then you want to just choose a skill on the jump rope that you can do, challenges you, but you can do for those continued reps. All right. So on Wednesday, okay, Wednesday is a very simple day. We're going to do a benchmark workout on Wednesday. If you've never done the workout, Cindy, you may not have done that, but a lot of you have done Murph. And if you've done Murph, the way we break down Murph, okay, is using Cindy, okay? And when we were prepping for Murph, we did Cindy style stuff because it's an AMRAP, 20-minute AMRAP. We have 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, 15 air squats. It's very simple. Okay. 20 rounds of Cindy is full Murph. Okay. How you break it down. So when we do that though, we're going to build up to that. We'll scale and modify for you guys as well. The 5, 10, 15, obviously you can do ring rows. You can do, push-ups from the box. You can do, squats to the box, whatever else. We'll always modify, but that's a great benchmark workout. If you've never done it before, or even if you have done it before, it's a nice assessment day for you. So the RPE on that really though, is only about a 7 because Cindy's a longer workout. So while it's like, well, that's a benchmark. How do I had this question. Somebody asked, how do I go at an RPE of 7, but it's supposed to be a benchmark? So I'm supposed to be pushing myself to go as hard as I can. Well, you are going as hard as you can, but because it's an effort day, okay, at an RPE of 7, you can't go at 100% and be able to maintain pace. So Cindy is a little bit slower. So it's not as gritty. It's not as, hard because it's a longer workout that I have to pace through, or I would hit a wall at like minute 8 and then I would be forced to slow down because my body will force me to slow down. So that's where we get that RPE of 7 because it's a 20-minute AMRAP and I've got to repeat the effort. It's a lot of volume, okay, but my output is more like 7 out of 10, not 10 out of 10, okay? So that I hope that you understand that a little bit there. I hope that helps. Going to spend a nice time getting a little bit of banded cool down work after that workout. We don't do a lot of banded cool down stuff, but you're going to get some banded stretches in there. I really love the band because it works on some distraction, pulls on the muscles a little bit differently. So we've got that coming in on Wednesday. On Thursday, it's going to be a little bit more of a, you have typically on Thursdays. I was sharing this with a client of mine earlier. Typically on Thursdays, we have more of like our active recovery day because we've gone pretty hard on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Well, Monday will really be your hardest day of training. And then Tuesday is an 8, Wednesday's a 7, and more of an AMRAP style, kind of moderate volume. So on Thursday, really your RPE can kind of be to be determined a little bit. This is kind of a grind day. So we've got a little bit of scheduled rest in there. Very simple piece, no like skill time above that or anything else. It's just going to be every 4 minutes. Okay, you're going to complete 30 kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls. One of my most favorite. If you watched my coach spotlight, I told you that sumo deadlift high pulls are like my least favorite movement. With a barbell, I hate them. They blow me up. Okay, but sumo deadlift high pulls with a kettlebell, I love because it just gets the barbell out of the way. It's a little easier to manipulate. Anyways, I like it. So, but 30 kettlebell sumo deadlift high pulls, you get to kind of choose your weight on that. We want you to be a little heavyish on that. And if you had to break it up a little bit, 30 reps unbroken every round is a little difficult. So don't be surprised if you have to break up those reps a little bit. And then 25 sit-ups. So these are complementary movements. So the first movement, I'm going to be doing extension. Okay, an extension and pull. The second movement with 25 sit-ups, I'm going to be doing a flexion. So they're going to complement each other, but they're going to tax the core and the midline together. Okay, so then in between or after that, you're doing a max cal bike in the remaining time. You might sub to a row. Somebody could even maybe sub to a ski erg if they wanted to, but we're going to do that max cal bike in the remaining time. So 4 minutes to get 30, 25, and then max cals in the remaining time. When that 4 minutes is over, you're going to rest a minute and you're going to do it over again. We're going to do 5 sets like that. So you have that 1 minute break. So every 5 minutes you'll start a round, but your round is only 4 minutes, if that makes sense. So when you read that, it just gets a little weird. You're like, kind of like, wait a second, wouldn't this be every 4 minutes? It is every 4 minutes, but you have a 1 minute break between each round. Again, that can kind of be choose your own adventure a little bit when it comes to effort or input. I can slow myself down because I know I'm going to get my 30 kettlebell sumo deadlifts in. I know I'm going to get my sit-ups in. And then I can choose, do I want to grind on this bike or do I want to kind of just be a little bit more easy on the bike and kind of turn those calories over a little bit, right? Just slower, not as fast. That's the other thing is when people are like, man, how can I make this a 5 out of 10? These movements are hard. I come to a Thursday class and work out with me at 1 p.m. and you will see how slow I move. Okay. You can always slow down the movement. You can always slow down your transitions. You can always just breathe. I always tell people, like, try to just breathe through every rep rather than when you grind fast, you can't breathe at that same cycle rate. And so therefore, like, you're going faster than your breath rate can go. So I just try to slow down and move through each movement as I can, or each rep as I can breathe through it, in through the nose, out through the mouth, or vice versa. Right. So that's what we got going on Thursday. On Friday, got a little time to work on some strength. But again, this strength piece is going to be the primer to get us ready for the workout. So the strength piece is going to be every 2 minutes for 10 minutes. We're just going to build up our weights on a power snatch plus a hang power snatch. Okay. If you're someone that's not going overhead, okay, if you're not going overhead, you're going to do a power clean plus a hang power clean. Okay. And that's what you would end up using also in the workout, which you'll hear in a second. But during that 10 minutes, we're just trying to build up. Likely you might even go above your workout weight. And some of you, if you're, working on some skills on this movement, you may not, you may just work that time to build up to your workout weight. But some of you that have a little bit more skill on the movement, maybe you're going to build up a little heavier than your workout weight and then you would jump back down. But again, by the end of that every 2 minutes, you want to know that, okay, this is the weight I'm going to use for my workout. And then in the workout, this is kind of a little different when we have a little style here, but we're going to do 2 sets. Okay. 2 sets of 2, 3, 4, 3, 2 of power snatch, and then 5, 10, 15, 10, 5 of dumbbell push press. Okay. So you got 2 sets, and then you're going to rest 2 minutes between sets. Okay. So I'm going to do 2, 3, or I'll do, 2 power snatch, and then 5 dumbbell push press, 3 power snatch, 10 dumbbell push press, 4 and 15, 3 and 10, 2 and 5. Okay. Then I'm going to rest 2 minutes, and then I'm going to do that again. Okay. So that's kind of how that's going to flow. So you're going to go, we call it a pyramid style workout. We go up the pyramid and then back down the pyramid. So workout like this, the weight selection is kind of going to be to each his own. You could go heavier on this one if you're a little bit more skillful on the movement, on the power snatch. Again, if you're not doing power snatch, you're not going overhead, you're just going to do a power clean. Okay. The dumbbell push press, we just want that to be a moderate weight. So you got to be able to do 15 reps there. So when I'm trying to isolate or think about like what I want to do for the push press, I'm really thinking about, all right, what weight can I do for that 15 reps? And my hope is to stay unbroken just because I don't like to set down the weights. But like, okay, if I'm just fatigued by that 15 set, even if I set it down at 8 and then went 7 more, like the 15 set should kind of be my anchor set, where I'm determined. If I got to set down those dumbbells 3 times during the 15 set, they're probably too heavy. Okay. And then on Saturday, on Saturday, I forgot what day I was on there. On Saturday, again, we've been focusing on the bench press a little bit. So we're going to hit that bench press again. I actually really love if we have a nice big group on a Saturday and you got some partner work going on, you can share in a little strength and then do it like we did it with the Bear Complex last week. But we're going to do a little strength piece on the bench press. You're going to have a total of 5 sets, but here's how it's going to go. You're going to start light on the 4 sets of 5. So you're going to just start light and then work to a moderate to moderate heavy. So what that means is I should be able to do 5 on my 4th set. Okay. So that 4th set of 5, I should be able to do 5, but it should not be a 5 rep max. It should still have a couple reps in the tank, moderate heavy there. Looking at an RPE of no more than 7. Then when you finish that 4th set of 5, you're going to have a little bit of a break there. And then you're going to do 1 max rep set at about 70% of your heaviest 5 rep sets that you did, right? So you did your 4 sets of 5 at that last weight of 5. Okay. I did that 5. I'm going to take 70% of that. And then I'm going to do a max rep set at the end. So you have 5 total sets, 4x5, and then 1 max set using the 4x5 weights to determine what you're doing for your max set. After that, you're going to do a 16-minute AMRAP with your partner. Really like the way this flows here. So you're going to go 16-minute AMRAP. And we did a style like this the other day. But you're going to do 400-meter run. One partner is going to 400-meter run. So partner 1's going to do their 400. While partner 1 is doing their 400, partner 2 is doing max rep box jumps. Okay. So they're going to do box jumps until their partner gets back from their 400. Encourage your partner to run fast. Okay. That's helpful. So you don't have to do as many jumps. But from there, then you're going to swap. Okay. So then partner 2 is going to go out for their 400-meter run while partner 1 does box jumps. When partner 1 comes back, now Partner one will go back out for a 200-meter run, while partner two does max alternating box step ups, okay, or step over, sorry. So you're going to step over. Now, the alternating means that you need to step over with different legs every time, right? So right foot steps up, then left foot steps up. Get what I'm saying there? Now, after that, partner one comes back from the 200-meter run. Partner two comes back in. Our partner two goes out for their run, and partner one does their alternating step ups. And you're going to keep that flow, okay? 400 in box jumps, 400 in box jumps, 200 in box step overs, 200 in box step overs, and you're going to keep that flow for the 16 minutes of the AMRAP. Okay. So fun day on Saturday. I really like that one as well to finish out the week. So a couple of things. Number one, like I said, October rundown will be coming out to you next programming update. We'll give you a snapshot of what October looks like. As we wrap up September, we're focusing on just finishing out some of the skill work on the overhead squat, the front squat, the bench press. When we get into October, we're going to see some of those things trickle back into a strength focus. Make sure when you're thinking about RPE, it's thinking about that effort that you can put out that day. That needs to be determined by you. It can't really be determined by the coach. The biggest thing is we can give you the intent, and then you need to work at what you need to do for your RPE. When in doubt and you need to, need something to feel easier, slow down, breathe more, and move a little less, and it usually gets a little easier. So have a great rest of your week, guys. Look forward to seeing you in the gym, and we'll bring that October rundown here for you next week. See you.